Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Break with Christine. Happy Monday. I have a couple of interviews I'm doing this week. So, welcome to you all. Today we are speaking, hello, with Leisis Stevenson. Super excited to hear more about her and her amazing journey in the way that she helps women. So, Lacey, you just have to request at the bottom there, the little smiley faces, request to join the conversation, and then I can let you in. Here we go. Here she comes. Hello.
Hey,
How
honey,
are
how are
you?
you? How's it going?
Good. Happy Monday. Good
Happy
to
Monday.
see you.
Good to see you too. I've been looking forward to spending this time with you, girl. Yay!
Oh,
Yay!
I know. After our last conversation, you left me wanting more. So,
Yay, me too. I so looked forward to today and to building on everything that we talked about and
Mhm.
just hearing more about what you've got going on. And I don't know, let's do this thing. Take it.
Yeah. Well, the Coffee Break with Christine is really here to highlight you and your business and all that you are doing. So,
Awesome.
yeah. So why don't you start out by telling a little bit about your journey to kind of entrepreneurship and to starting the organization that you have and all that good stuff.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Well, yeah, thank you for opening up this space, first of all, and for
Mm-hmm.
this wonderful invitation. I have a lot of gratitude. Thank you.
Oh, thank
Um,
you for participating.
so, my name is Leisis Stevenson. I'm actually a registered nurse here in Florida, and I've been a registered nurse for 12 years or so. Um, but in 2011 or so, my ex-husband and I, we got a divorce, right? And that whole process took me through something really unexpected, kind of like COVID, where you don't see it coming, and then it just gets you, and you realize I'm not prepared,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of negative emotions, negative thoughts, things that happen, things that's very normal, but
Mm-hmm.
past that. It went past that, and I realized that I didn't have the coping mechanisms that were necessary to get me through that time, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as a woman who has an education, I mean, I'm a licensed professional, and I consider myself to be kind of smart, I you know,
You're a nurse, yeah.
right? And if I was a person with these kind of tools, yet I found myself in this position, I thought to myself, what happens to the people who don't have these tools, don't have the
Mm-hmm.
resources, don't have the education to get them through these kind of times? What happens to those women? And I really did start looking into it, and I realized that first of all, women are twice as likely to suffer from depression or anxiety by the time that they're 50 years old as opposed to men. And I also realized that a girl's, not a woman, okay, a girl's self esteem peaks between the ages of 9 and 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
The age they're getting teased in school.
Remember when you were about that age,
Ugh.
you're wearing your bra for the first time, your
Mm-hmm.
body changing, you're going through puberty, parts of your face are growing at different speeds. It was
Yeah.
super awkward. And this is the time when your self-esteem peaks. And then you couple that with the different roles that we get to play and that we're taught to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what society says is normal for us, you couple those things along with the physiological things that are happening with your body, confidence just does this, does this,
Yeah.
does this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, there's other stuff like we're the nurturers, and we take care of the kids, and all of that is changing, but not fast enough, Christine.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to do something about it, and that's where Angels
Mhm.
and Allies was born. Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. And tell everybody what kind of support and services that Angels and Allies gives to young girls.
So we service girls between the ages of 8 years old to 16 years old through workshops, through school, through after school program. And what we do is we help them acquire, develop, and practice the skill set that we talk about as women. We do
Mhm.
the mindset training at this age, right? That
Mhm.
helps girls have the confidence to just be themselves, to
Mhm.
love themselves, and to
Mm.
accept, right, themselves as they are so that they can pursue what they need to pursue so they could be happy. And at the same time, learn things like setting boundaries and how to quiet your mind and follow your intuition, goal setting, right?
Mhm.
Explore the relationship between their peers and themselves. I mean, yeah, yeah. It's
Oh,
stuff. It's powerful stuff.
I wish it was around when I was a child.
Me too. Me
I
too.
I needed it. And it's so beautiful what you're doing. And it's so funny that school doesn't teach these things, or, you have health class and you get thrown in a room with all the girls and you watch these weird videos to learn how your body changes, but it's up here
Mm-hmm.
what's important, and that usually isn't addressed, unless you go through a traumatic experience and are forced into some kind of therapy, then maybe it's addressed.
That's right.
But yeah, so that's amazing. And what year did you start Angels and Allies?
Officially, I started Angels and Allies in 2018. But the truth is that for years before that, I was doing other things because as I recovered from my own depression and as I learned to cope with my anxiety
Mm-hmm.
and learned how to shift my mindset, I learned a few things about myself. Like, I really love the beach. And as
Mm-hmm.
a matter of fact, I really love meditating on the beach. So
Mm-hmm.
I incorporated that into my lifestyle. So on Sunday mornings, I would go to the beach and I'd meditate. And some of my friends found out about it, so they would join us. And my mom comes out. You know, sometimes I take my daughter. There's other women that I know that will join us, and it's just. And then in 2018, we launched. We launched with girls workshops. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And what a beautiful outcome of such a difficult time that you
yeah,
suffered through, and just the journey of you learning about yourself, and you turned that difficult time into a positive. So I just love that.
yeah,
So keep
yeah,
going, girl.
yeah, yeah.
um, so what has been the most difficult part of that side of like running a business and all of that fun stuff?
That's funny. One of the most difficult things. I'm going to be totally, just completely honest with you.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. One of the most difficult things is when people think that this is not important.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like parents
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Oh, my daughter doesn't
really?
need that. Yeah. And I even hear a lot of things like, oh, that's a problem of the past. That doesn't happen so much now.
Hmm.
Things. And I get blown away by it because I'm like, no, actually, it's a huge problem, and it's
Mm.
very prevalent, more prevalent than you know. And unfortunately, we don't find out about it, like you said, until we have an event in our own lives that
Hmm.
forces us, like COVID, that forces us to really take a look inside and say, "Am I happy? Is this really the way I want to be spending my time?" Right?
Hmm.
Why is it so hard for me to say no? I mean, it's a complete sentence. Why is it so hard for me to set these boundaries? And yeah, that's been one of the biggest things. The other stuff, it comes, I think, and I hire people to help me learn.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Good. That's
yeah.
good. You're not afraid to ask for help.
No,
I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we think we have to do everything and be all of the faces of the business. So that's great.
yeah.
Just going back to what you said, though, it really kind of blows me away that people say that like that's not happening in today's day and age, and that's an old issue, because before those things weren't even talked about. Like in my parents' generation, like that things were hush hush. So it's funny that people would just respond and say that's an old issue when now it's more prevalent than ever in our lives.
Yeah. I think that because of and especially because you're a coach, right?
Mm-hmm,
You're
mm-hmm.
a coach and you surround yourself with people who are like-minded.
I
Okay.
try.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so do I.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about that is that sometimes when you do that, um, you think that that little world that you put yourself in is the world.
Mm.
But
Like the only world.
that's right. And
Uh-huh.
it's not,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not the only ones who exist here. There's people out there that don't have access to the kind of people that we have access to the kind of resources that we have access to. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with everything that's happened, especially over the last few months, there's a rise in mental health issues. There's a rise in depression and anxiety, and there's a rise in not just in children, but in adults,
Mm-hmm.
and this kind of work is important because we all deserve to be happy and to have the tools that we need so we can get through and get by and be resilient. you
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, I guess even from the point that you say we live in our own world, is that disadvantages us from seeing other viewpoints that are, because I do like to have conversations with people that have different viewpoints just to understand why, like, why do you like this person or whatever. So yeah, I guess it's important to remember that when you live in a certain way, there's also people that live the opposite way that you do.
That's
So
right. That's right. And it's you touched on something. So next month, is it next month? I had written down little notes for myself, and I don't know where I put them. So I'm nervous
that's
right
okay.
to like
Oh.
out. Um, but we are running our first actual group for women, which I know that you're a little bit familiar with it. The I am the Girl Gang.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10 weeks, and what we are doing is exactly what you said. We are getting together with women who have different perspectives, different backgrounds than we do. It's open to everybody, of course, but it's for exactly that reason, so that we can talk about relationships with other women, the relationships that we had with our family members that influenced our relationships with money, that influenced how we view intimacy, all of these things that we don't normally really talk about out loud with intention,
Mm-hmm.
but with from different perspectives.
Wow. Is that going to be online or in person?
It's going to be online
Yeah.
because yesterday there were 15,000 new cases. So, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to go out there.
I know, I know. I think I'm just, my mind's like I'm craving in person
Me
so
too.
bad.
Me too, girl.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I understand.
Yeah.
Um, so let's just talk about that a little bit. So how has COVID affected Angels and Allies? What kind of pivots or shifts have you had to make?
So, like many people, like many, many people, we were in a position where we knew we had to go that route. It's just that I had a lot of resistance. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of resistance from me. And I didn't feel prepared at the time. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Also, my focus shifted from my business to my children.
Of
Um,
course, that,
yeah.
I mean, naturally, yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot that couldn't get done.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we had scheduled with the different schools, all the different workshops that were scheduled, the summer empowerment program, all of those things got delayed. Um, some of them were flat out canceled. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but fortunately, because of COVID, we did get the opportunity, whether it was forced through meetings or because we wanted to. We did learn how to do Zoom and how to uh, practice confidentiality through Zoom. So we have workshops scheduled all through the fall. Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah, yeah.
Good. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. I think in-person connection is where it's at, especially when you're talking about very personal issues, sensitive issues. For
Mm-hmm.
women and young girls to feel secure that they can that they're in a safe space is just not the same when you have it on Zoom. You know,
Yeah,
so I feel
yeah.
you on
It,
that.
it's true. It's true. It's not the same. It's not. It's really not the same. But you can achieve a level of connection through Zoom. And
Yeah.
yeah, you
Hmm.
can do it. It can be done. It's different.
Hmm.
It's different. And as long as we go in there with an open mind, and an open heart, I think that we can accomplish still many, many good things together, um,
Hmm.
for each other and for the community. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess what's the other alternative? Quit, which of course we don't want to give up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
absolutely.
no way. We must adjust if we're going to survive, if we're going to thrive,
Hmm.
not just survive. If we're going to thrive, then we must adjust and keep our eye on the ball, just what is it that we're here to do? And
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, what is it that we're here to do? Okay, I can't do it the way that I thought I was going to do it, but how
Hmm.
can I do it? What is it that is available to me that I can use to make an impact? And that's, yeah, the
Hmm.
same you're doing right now, the same exact way that you're doing right now, expanding. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like what you touched upon it is remembering our why. You know, why did I start this? Why am I doing this? Because that I think will help get us through the difficult times in remembering, okay, well, it can't be the way that I would like it, but my why is to reach these women, to reach these girls, to help them grow. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's super important. Odalis is here. Hi, Odalis. Good
Hey,
to
Odie.
see you.
Hi. Mwah, 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 mwah,
And
mwah.
Odalis was just saying we have to pivot to accommodate the times, and the children have had to adjust a lot too. Absolutely, definitely. Um, let's see. How do you tend to manage and I can imagine you go through this a lot, just working with the girls that probably have a lot of emotional ups and downs, but how do you manage the emotional ups and downs of owning a business and kind of juggling family with that?
That's such a good question. Um, I actually got a lot of practice doing that when I was a hospice nurse. I was a palliative care nurse for 5 years, and I helped people transition from life into death,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's a lot of emotion that is attached to that. Um, it just so happened that right around that time is when I really got deep into my meditation practice. I've since then become a mindfulness instructor and a Reiki master, which I use every single one of those things for myself. I never did those things with the intention to help somebody else.
Oh, interesting.
I did it with the intention to help myself because I knew that I needed a tool. I needed something to help myself manage my emotions,
Mm-hmm.
get all that stuff in check. And also, I practice what I preach, man. The thing is that if you can't set boundaries, it's going to be really hard for you to manage your emotions and
Yep.
and understand that priorities shift. So it's always a work in progress, though. It's always a work in progress because I do have my moments where I am ripping my hair out a little bit
We
more
all do.
often, a little bit more often than I'd like to admit. But
Mm-hmm.
life is perfect in its imperfection, so I roll with it, girl. I roll with it.
I love that attitude. You're so real. um, Bless you for finding a healthy outlet because I was not always that way and didn't know how to deal and, turned to lots of other substances and people and things outside of myself to deal with the emotional ups and downs of life. So, I'm just, yeah, I love to hear that. And now I too have found meditation and yoga and exercise, other healthier ways to deal with the issues. And sometimes, like you said, it's not always easy and no one's perfect
Right?
to, to get through that.
The important thing is to love yourself enough, Christine, I think, to
Mm-hmm.
recognize that I am human and I will make mistakes. And
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. I forgive myself. And
Hmm.
that's not perfect. And that's okay too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's actually what makes it kind of cool is the fact that I can make a mistake today, but tomorrow I have another opportunity. I
Mm-hmm.
love myself the same. You know, my mistakes do not define me. Girl, I've made so many mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. All the
Yeah.
time. But it's all right. It's all
Well,
right.
and it's learning that self-compassion. I had such a hard time with that before. I was so hard on myself. And it
Yeah.
was through therapy, that my counselor helped me realize, like, it's okay. Like, it's okay,
It's like for real, it's okay.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
don't need to punish yourself for anything that happens or anything that you do, and just it was a long journey to loving myself, but I'm glad I didn't give up.
Yeah.
And a lot's changed over the years. So,
You
um,
also take that pain into power. You
hmm
transform that pain into power. And there's nothing that can happen in this life that could take that from you. That's
hmm
powerful when you think about that.
hmm
Because you went through your experience. I went through my experience. And look what was born from it. Nobody could take that from you, girl.
I
Oh,
love that. Love it. Super women.
yes, you got that right.
Okay, well, we're heading towards the end of our time, but I wanted to ask you, what's one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's just starting their journey to entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship,
Hmm. Or a project that they're passionate about.
do not give up on yourself.
Mm,
When you are tired, take some rest. Get some rest,
yes.
but do not give up.
Mm-hmm.
You stay on your path, stay on your why. Remember what you're doing. It's something that's for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the pieces may fall around you, but you are the one who gets to determine what your success is going to look like. Don't give up on yourself, girl. Don't give up on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Never, never surrender.
Yep. Just pivot when necessary. Myra says take a nap and get back up.
You got
Exactly.
that right, Myra. My nose.
And Odie was calling us sheroes, like heroes, but sheroes. I love that. Yeah. It's so funny because before I was just so like embarrassed and full of pain to share my story. And now I think it's so important. I remember hearing another friend's story where like on a podcast, like his parents were killed and, he had way even worse things than me. And he's such a positive person today. And I was like, I can't believe this is the same guy that's on this podcast right now. And I had a conversation with him and that's how we first connected. And he was just like, everyone's got a story to tell and you can use it to help other people. And you just gotta like, don't be afraid. It is what it is and you are who you are. And
Yep,
that's it. So,
that's it. That's it. There's nobody keeping score. There's no scorecard.
hmm
Those are all the stories that we tell ourselves. Those are all the stories that we tell ourselves. And
yeah, it's
a
all
lot,
up here.
yeah, it's all up here. It all
Hmm.
begins and ends right here. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Odie's giving you the Shiro's credit. She said you got the term. Okay, just a couple more things. So I ask everybody, since it's coffee break with Christine, what's your favorite hot drink? What are you drinking these days?
What's up? I got my cup too.
Oh, good.
So when we went on a trip, um, we learned about a French press. I know. So
Oh,
many.
yes. European. It's European.
I didn't know anything about a French press. I'm like,
Oh.
where's the coffee in this room? And then we find a French press. I'm like, what's all this work?
Life changing though. It's
Oh
worth
my,
the work.
it's life changing. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Now we buy our own coffee beans. We
Mm-hmm.
grind our own beans. We press the coffee. So yeah, there's
Love it.
Yeah, that's what we do in the morning now, and that's actually what I'm having right now. This is my second cup.
It's one of those days. I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, tell everybody where they can sign up for your next event that's happening and where everyone can find you.
The easiest place, I do have someone working with me right now to help us with our website. Odie, Odie. Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah, Odie's helping us with that right now. And but for now, you can go to the Instagram page, Angels and Allies,
Hmm.
and our phone number and address and everything is on there. And over the next actually 24 hours, we're going to be putting up the information for the next groups, because the one that's starting in July and the one that's starting in August, both of them are already full. So I'll
Oh,
be
wow.
yeah, those are full. So the next one that starts in September, which is all about the mother-daughter relationship, the bond between mother and daughter, the relationship between a woman and her daughter. Uh,
Hmm.
that one starting in September, and we'll put that information out for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm so excited to have reconnected with you recently. And yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This time went by super fast, girl.
It
I was
did. I
like,
know.
again.
Well, this interview will be saved on the IGTV, and then I will also send you a link later, uploading it to my YouTube channel.
Oh, yay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. And I will see you on Wednesday.
I will Wednesday.
All
Mwah.
right.
Ciao. Have
Mwah.
a great day.
Ciao. You too.
Bye.
Bye.